and welcome back to the madness. It is Monday. So, I got a lot of stitching in, but not on a lot of projects. So, Thursday, I worked on corn. And this is hilarious. I put in 810 stitches. And then Friday, I was like, okay, I'm giving it one more day. I'm going to move the hoop. And I need the beginning, the pointy part of the corn done. So I made a goal for myself that everything that I saw in the hoop was going to be stitched on, and then I could put it down. Guess how many stitches it was? 810. I'm like, that has never happened.
Left on East 12 Mile Road,
not so
right.
Pacific. Well, I guess it has, but for it to be such a big number, because it's been like 304, 304, 304. But 810, it was like, it was so.
Turn right at the traffic light.
It's looking good now. It looks like corn. I'm happy. I was very scared. That's why I had to do the top part, because the middle part without the top part does not look like corn. I don't know what it looks like, but it don't look like corn. But once you get the tip in, oh my God, it was absolutely perfect. So then I was like, okay, I am going to stitch on
any of the 3 left lanes.
What did I stitch on? Oh, magic post-it note. So the Saturday. What did I do Saturday?
Continue on I-94.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. So, let me get done with the stitches and then I'll tell you. I didn't start stitching until 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So, I did 500 stitches on Magic Gnome. Was it 500? Yes, it was 500. And then yesterday, I actually finished Post-it Gnome. Magic Gnome or I think it's Post-it Gnome. I don't know. I think it's Magic Gnome. Because the other one's Post-it Gnome. Whatever, who cares? So, I did 900 and some odd stitches for a total of 1,400 and some odd stitches. So then I decided to pick up something else that was already in a hoop, and I did Boost Sampler, and I think I only got 300 stitches in there. By then I was like, okay, I'm done stitching. On the weekends, I like to get at least one day of 1,000. Well, I got, what, 1,200? Yeah, it was time to stop. And my wrist was starting to get, a little tingly, so I'm like, yeah, we need to stop this. But what happened Saturday? Oh my goodness. So, it's 9:36. And my phone rings, and it's Cher. And Cher's like, Becky, have you talked to John? I'm like, no, I was sleeping. She's like, I've been trying to get a hold of him for a half an hour, and he's not answering me. I was like, okay, while we're still on the phone, I bring up Life 360, and I see that he was at 12 in Groesbeck for a half an hour. Well, 36 minutes. He pulled up right at 9 o'clock. And I was like, okay. So then bad thoughts go through my head, because that's where I was T-boned. Groesbeck is a very dangerous highway. I think it's called a highway. This is called an interstate, right? So I think that's called a highway. So I jump in my car, and well, first I try calling him because I'm like, there's sometimes he just doesn't answer the phone for the shop. But usually on Saturdays, he does. So I called him, no answer. Jump in my car. I get to basically Topher and Shaner, which is like a half a mile down the road, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to call him one more time. I call him and he answers the phone, and oh my God, I wasn't crying till I heard his voice, and I just started bawling. I couldn't even, I was crying so hard, I couldn't even get words out properly. It was like, what is it called? Hyperventilating, crying
Right
at the same time. He's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, Cher's been trying to get a hold of you for over a half an hour. He was like, oh, I was at the car wash. I wanted to strangle him. I wanted to strangle him. So,
turn left.
I mean, it was so bad that
the second left.
I had to pull over because I couldn't see. I was crying so hard. And he was like, just take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. I was like, no,
Turn
this
right
isn't.
at the stop sign. Then
I
take
had
the
you
second
dead
right.
in my head in a bad car accident, because that's the only thing. If he was in a car accident, he would have answered the phone. He had to be dead for not answering the phone.
Turn right on Hampton Road, then take the first left.
So, I came home. I went right back to my bedroom and sat in the dark and tried to calm my nerves for, 2 hours. I got on Facebook and was looking at that. And then I was like, okay, so I bought this new air fryer. Oh my God. Amazon had it on sale for a ridiculous price. It's a French door air fryer. It's, oh God, what's his name? Emerald Lagasse, I think is his name. But Emerald, bam. His 360 conventional air fryer. It does everything, basically. You can even make it a slow cooker. It's like, there's so many features, it's ridiculous. So I was like, the first night we made frozen pizza. Oh my God, the best frozen pizza ever. The frozen pizza that we've been eating for years was like gourmet now. It was weird. It was so good.
Turn right at the stop sign.
I started looking up videos. I went on TikTok. Well, first I was on, what was I on? I don't know what I was on at first. It wasn't Facebook. Maybe I went to Instagram? No. I don't know. Now that's weird. Oh, I Googled. That's right. Oh my God. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, yeah. So I Googled first, and then it was taking me to YouTube. So then I just started searching in YouTube, which, I wasn't getting what I wanted. So I'm like, oh, you know what? TikTok. So I went on TikTok and I put, air fryer. And there's a whole bunch of
Turn
cool
right on
things.
Vernier Road, then take the first left.
So then, what? Oh, who wants me to go on Mac? Okay, I can do that. So then,
Turn left on Vernier Road, then take the first right.
I got up, took a shower. It's all like a blur to me. It's so... Getting old sucks, man. I don't have the memory like I used to. And I think I went on Zoom and I started stitching. I think it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know.
Turn
Who
right
cares,
on the
really?
traffic light.
And then yesterday, I was like, okay. The only TV in the house that will let me watch videos on YouTube in double speed without a crackling, or I don't even know how to describe it, but it's annoying. It's kind of like a crackling. After so long, it starts crackling. And then you have to rewind for a second, push play, and it's good for a little bit. My bedroom TV does not have that problem whatsoever. It never crackles. So I was like, okay, tomorrow, and I don't know if I told you guys, but the chair that I used to sleep in my room
Turn left on Low Ross Road.
used to be my stitching chair. That chair has gotten some miles on it. I put it in the living room, and I took the new recliner that we bought, like, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't call it new, but it's the newest, except for the new love seat recliners that we got last summer. But before that was this recliner that I bought for John. So I took that recliner, which became Becca's recliner. It was just a whole thing because it was the newest recliner. So we got rid of Becca's recliner. We gave that to Jonathan, and then John's recliner became Rebecca's recliner. Well, now it's my bed / Stitchy chair in my bedroom. Which this one goes back so much further. It's almost like, it's cool. The only thing is, I really do miss sleeping on my stomach. I always slept on my stomach, and it's just, I don't know. I miss sleeping in a bed, but I sleep so much better in the chair. Anywho. So, okay, I'm going to the right speed limit. I wasn't paying attention. There was a cop hiding. So I was like, okay, tomorrow I am just going to watch the trial and stitch. That's how I got some of these stitches done, because basically I was basically ignoring my phone. Once in a while, when I had to take pictures, then I would check, shit, but I basically was just stitching and watching this trial. The trial. I'm starting to get pissed off. Shocker, right? Shocker. I am sick of these people who, now I know I could go to law and crime and not have to deal with this at all, but I do like to hear other people's opinions. What I don't like is when I'm watching the court case and they're like, ooh, they got him, ooh, ooh. It's like, no. And if I was on this jury, I'd be like, the one lawyer that everyone's just like loving on, it's like, he really didn't get him. Example. I don't remember names, so I'm just giving you examples. This one chick was on there, and she was, I don't know, firefighter, EMT, I don't know. They all were there. They were all like one witness after fucking another. It was the EMT people, right? And the fire and the police. So, I think her name was Katie. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm thinking her name was Katie. And she was like, they asked her if, and I don't remember this person's name. I want to say it was Karen. I really want to say it was Karen. No, it wasn't Karen, because maybe it was Jennifer. I don't know. Okay, so person A is the EMT. Person B is Karen's friend, okay?
Turn left at
So,
traffic light.
person A, no, we gotta make up names because A and B is not gonna work for me. So we're gonna say Katie and Jennifer. They're probably not the right names, like I said, but okay, hold on. This is, ooh, okay. The world is ending. That is never clear. That is never ever clear. That turn is one of the worst turns, and it was totally clear. The world is ending today. Anywho, so Katie's on the stand, and oh God, I want to call him something, but I don't want to be rude. But I wanted to call him Dickhead, but Fancy Pants. That's gonna be his name. The Fancy Pants lawyer was like, "Do you know a girl named Jennifer?" And Katie said, "There was a girl in my school named Jennifer." And then he asked a whole bunch of questions. Then he went back to Jennifer. He's like, "So you're telling me you're not friends with Jennifer?" And she said, "More like acquaintance, but friends? No." And then he's like, they did this whole thing where they had to excuse the jury, and then they had to have a voir dire, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. You know me and names. I don't give a shit. Anywho, they excused the jury and everything, so now they're going to grill her and see if she's going to perjure. What is it called? Is it perjure? Perjure herself. I think that's what it's called. So anywho, starts bringing out these photos. Oh, so you never went to the beach with her? Now, mind you, I forgot how many people were in the picture. It was more than 5. I think it was more like 10 or 14. And she's like, "We have mutual friends." So yeah, there'd be times when she was like at the beach with her, because, you know, the mutual friend of a friend brought her. It's a small fucking town too. This is what's driving me up the wall. It's a small town. So he's like, "Well, you just go to beaches with people who you're just acquainted to?" And she tries to explain, you know, it was just a friend group. They're not actual friends. They're acquaintance. She would say hi to her, but she wouldn't call her her friend. And he's like, "Oh, but your friend's on Facebook." Now that's BS right there. That whole argument, because do you know how many people I'm friends with on Facebook? And I probably don't even know their last names. I just know them by their profile picture. You know, it's just like, people, it's Facebook. That'd be like saying, "Oh, they were friends on Instagram too." But, you know, it's like, it's not like she's written down in my address book. It's Facebook. You add people, or they send you requests, and you just see what's going on in their life. Facebook is not, "These are my friends that I would die for." No. Especially when it comes to high school friends. Oh my God. I have people, well, my old Facebook, not this Facebook. My old Facebook, I had people who would torture me in school as my Facebook friends just to see how crappy their fucking life is. You know? It's Facebook. Okay, that rant. Get off of that rant. So, then he brings up this picture, and it's, again, a group picture, but he zooms in right to them, and she's actually standing there with her, I think Jennifer had her arm around Katie. And like, oh, look how close you guys are. Have you ever took a group picture and they say, get closer, and the person has put their arm around you? I have. And did I like the person? No, but I sucked it up for the 2 seconds it took to take the damn picture. It's like, these are not good arguments. In my opinion, they're not good arguments. She said she's not friends with her. Acquaintance. They went to high school together. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. So, it's like, and the host is like, oh, they got her there. They got her there. It's like, step back and actually think about it in your own life. That's what's pissing me off about this trial. They're like, and it's a small town. Yes, everyone basically knows each other. Maybe not by name, but I've seen them around town. It's just ridiculous. What was some other things that really pissed me off? Oh, they were like hounding this person. Oh my God, well, why didn't you say, I think his name is Colin. Why didn't you say Colin was there? So Colin is her nephew, and she comes home from the bar, and because her son, now it's past midnight, so her son is now, I think, 23 years old. And, oh, I gotta write that down, but not in front of this cop, though. What is the speed limit here? Because it really makes me nervous. Okay, so he's not turning around, so that's good. This is a city that likes to give out tickets. Sorry, I had to write this before I forget. Okay, so she comes home, and basically 2 seconds later, Colin leaves. And then people started coming over from the bar. So when the cop asked who was there, she didn't say Colin because he wasn't really there. And here's the thing too, it's like, oh, you were trying to hide that. And she's like, no, he wasn't there when we were having our little get together. He was leaving before anyone else showed up. So she's like, well, no. I said, and she goes, and I didn't mention the other two girls that left before anyone else came over too. Basically, she's saying, you're not giving me a hard time about the other two girls, but you're giving me a hard time on Colin. It's just, I don't know. I know they're what is it, commentary on the case, but you don't have to be such an ass about it. It's like, ooh, got him, ooh. It's like, no, step back. Everyone thinks she's innocent. I don't think she's innocent. From what I'm hearing, she's not innocent. I mean, did you hear the tape? She screams, oh, no, I don't remember. recovery addict took out all the background noise, and you listen to it, and it says something like, I hit him, it's my fault, or something, I don't remember. But it was like, it's a confession right there, bitch. Oh, shoot, I am doing 35 and a 30. And there are cops all over the place, so. I can't think of any other things that it was like, it just makes me laugh. Oh, there was like, so, I don't know. It was the guy who owned the house that, oh, here's my thing too. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. The reason I don't think the cops did it is if you have killed someone or even beat them up bad and you're going to toss them on a lawn, would you toss them on your own lawn? I mean, that has to be the stupidest thing ever. Is that they're trying to make us believe that these cops who are trying to hide the fact that they injured someone, go idiots, try to frame someone else but dump them on their lawn. Right there, I can't get that out of my head. You have to be really stupid to do that. I don't know. It just... Oh yeah, so... I don't think his name is Brian. Maybe it is Anthony. I don't know. Anyways, the owner of the house and his friend were at the bar, and they're trying to, their whole goal right now is to say that this guy is experienced, well trained or something, boxer or something, fighter, and they went in the basement and was fighting this guy, and it went a little too far, and that's how he got killed. In the bar, you can see these guys, they start like play fighting, and the lawyer's like, oh, look there, you're fighting, you're teaching him how to fight. And the guy's like, we're messing around. It's just like the littlest things. They're trying to make big evidence, and it's like, take yourself out of the situation, and just, if you saw that in a bar, oh look, those two guys are messing around. It doesn't look like he's trying to teach him how to fight. You know, they're messing around, and he probably said like, you know, oh, got you there, you know, but they're trying so hard. And then they're saying that the dog attacked him. Oh, this was another one too. Oh my God, the coincidence. Like, okay, so the one guy was neighbors with, damn, I don't even, John? What's his name? John James or John Jason? I don't even remember his name. The guy who's dead. Oh my God, my brain. So, in the guy's phone, he's called this character who always yells, "Get off my lawn." I don't know this guy. But Fancy Pants lawyer was like trying to spin it to something it wasn't. And he's like, he always yelled at people for being on his lawn, and look, here's a picture of you and your wife actually standing on his lawn making fun of that you were watching his house, but now you're on his lawn. And he got mad because kids were cutting through his lawn, and that's how he got this nickname. And the guy's like, no, I can explain, and just kept like going crazy on this guy. So then the prosecutor comes up and he's like, you said that you could explain, I guess it's a cartoon character, how he got that name. He's like, yeah, one day my 6-year-old son was coming home and he cut the corner and walked through his grass, and I think his name is John. John was like, hey, get off my lawn. And the 6-year-old didn't know that he was kidding. So he went home and he was telling his mom that John's upset with him now because he got on his lawn. And the husband, remember, I can't remember names, who were friends, acquaintance, but more than acquaintance. I mean, you don't have someone just watch your house if you're not friends. So that's why I'm like, it's more than acquaintance. Called up John and said, hey, this is to let you know you scared the crap out of my son. He thought you were serious. John felt bad, asked him what's his favorite candy, went to the store, came over and apologized to the kid and said, I was just teasing, dude, you know. So then in their cell phones, he's named this character. But the simplest thing, Fancy Pants tried to blow it up to this whole thing that was like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But another thing. So, oh God, what was I going to say? Memory, I'm telling you. Oh, they're saying about him trying to destroy the information on the phone, and oh, you just happened the day before you were going to get this letter, you destroyed your phone. He's like, I didn't destroy my phone, I upgraded my phone. Oh, nice coincidence. And after about 10 minutes of this Fancy Pants asshole just drilling him, finally the guy's like, it was a coincidence. It was my birthday, and I decided to treat myself and upgrade my phone. It's just, coincidence happened. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Okay, last one, and then I'll get off of this. I'm so sorry. But, you know, this is what I'm watching. This is what I'm consumed my life with right now. So, it was, I don't know how long after the incident happened that the guy sold his house. He's like, oh, really convenient that you pick now to sell your house. And he's like, I didn't pick it. I didn't do it because of what happened. He goes, we had been already in the process of trying to sell our house. My kids his brother sold his house because, you know, the kids start moving away. You don't need all that extra bedrooms and all that. You don't need a big house when you become, you know, when your kids start moving away. So, the guy's like, oh, that's real convenient that you know, he's like, you're not listening to me. we had started the process. We had already talked to a realtor before this even happened. And he's like, oh, yeah. So after someone gets killed on your lawn, then you decide to move. And he's like, you're not listening. It's a coincidence. We had already started planning to sell our house. But it's like the littlest things they try to blow up. And it's like, actually listen to the person, what they're saying, and it makes perfect sense. Yes, there's a lot of coincidence, but some things like selling their house, there's actually proof that they were already in the process of looking for new houses, selling this house to downgrade. It's just ridiculous. All the little piddly shit. And then the one guy was like, yeah, I got home about 12:10. Bring up the bar information, video. Oh, you didn't leave until 12:13, so there's no way you could be home at 12:10. It's like, okay, so he was off about 10 minutes because he walked home, which it was freezing cold. So you're going to walk faster, in my opinion. Is like so like set on the time. And here's the thing, you don't know exactly when the guy was hit or anything. They're trying to say that their son did it. Well, here's another thing, the kid wasn't driving, someone else picked him up. It's just, oh, I can't. I'm still watching, but it's like, and then they're like, oh yeah, we have people in there, watching the jury, and the jury are, anytime Fancy Pants talks, they're all up it, but when the prosecutor talks, they're just ignoring him. It's like, I think it's just like Fancy Pants. They're seeing what they only want to see. I don't trust people when they're like, oh, the jury's leaning this way. Just like with the damn Arizona case. They're like, oh, the jury is totally against the defendant. It was a hung jury, but that hung jury was 11-1. One person said guilty. All the others said not guilty. But oh my God, we have people in there and they're saying that the jury is on the prosecutor's side and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know how many times Emily was like, I don't think they're gonna get him. I don't think they're gonna get him. And then there's a fucking guilty. It's like, I have to take all that noise out. Okay, so I'm off that subject. I'm very passionate about the things I watch, people. I just had to get it out. I had to purge it out of my system. Because, oh my God, it's just driving me up a wall. Which, what am I going to do? I'm going to get off of here, and I think I'm on day... Did I just finish day 9? And starting 10? I think that's where I'm at. Really sucks, though, he's not catching up. It's like, why can't he be just a day behind? Oh, because he respects Brandy. But you know what? I bet you everyone's going to be doing the stupid Brian one. We're going to watch that right with everyone else. But Brandy did so much research and I promised her. Well, if you're a day behind, you're still not live. You're still holding up your promise. Well, I don't want to get that caught up. It makes me sick. So you know what's going to happen is that they're probably going to go for verdict, and it's going to be a fast jury, and we're going to have the spoilers. I don't know. I might start just, oh God. You know what? I should watch Law and Order, and then at night watch Recovery Addict. Just to hear what he's saying. I don't know. I hate being behind. And I'm not going to go watch Brandy, please. She's as bad as Emily. Ooh. Oh, there's someone, I don't know what his name is. Oh, I see him in the what is it called? Media. Journalism, whatever. What is that? The press? Whatever. Media press, I think is what it's called. It's just, I don't know. I just can't. It's driving me up a wall. Okay, I said I was getting off here, and I said I was going to stop ranting. So I will see you in the next one. I don't know what I'm working on because we have to pick tonight. So, I wonder if I should let John pick it again. People really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it too. I hate doing the Flosstube by myself, and I like the banter, and John gives such good banter. I just can't believe how many times he was making faces and I didn't even know it. That was cracking me up. Because after we filmed it, I'm like, you want to watch it? He's like, sure. We were laughing so hard. And then dinner was done. And Becca was in the living room. We're like, hey, Becca, you want to watch it? She's like, sure. So we watched it twice. And each time it was just like so funny to us. Okay, I'm off of here. And I will see you in the Hello! It is Tuesday. So, I got a lot of stitching done. My sciatic nerve is still giving me a lot of pain. So, right when I got home, I have to buckle up. Right when I just started my day, Mona. We're not going to any addresses. So when I got home, I went right to my bedroom, and my plan was to just start stitching. And all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I fell asleep. So, that happened. So I took a 2-hour nap. And then I woke up and I started stitching, and I put on the Karen Reed trial again. And oh my God, it just, I am finding, so I caught up to all the videos that I missed during Mother's Day week. Well, in Recovery Addict, I still have Shalene's and Yorkshire Crafter. I still have people that I watch every week that I haven't caught up on, but I wanted to catch up on the Karen Reed. So, oh my God, the white fuzzies are freaking floating now. From my understanding, it's from a cottonwood tree, and I am allergic to the cottonwood fuzzy thingies. So that means in the next couple of weeks, my sinuses will go crazy. I'll get a freaking cough. But I do have allergy medicine, so I really need to just take the allergy meds and see if that really does help. Anywho, so I took notes. Now tell me if you guys don't like this, because I will stop talking about trials. But this is what I'm watching. This is what's consuming my life. But I was like, okay, I have to talk about this, because I find when you talk about it, you release it. And I'm finding, so yesterday, like I was saying, I caught up on day 12 is the last day that Recovery Addict was up to, because he doesn't want to step on anyone's toes. It's all about Brandy. He made a promise to Brandy that he wouldn't cover it live. So stupid. But you know, I said this last week, yesterday, not last week, yesterday. You know he's going to be doing stupid Idaho case with the college kids that everyone can't stop talking about. The judge is annoying. Everyone's annoying in that case. It's not even going to be good media covered. Not media, but the judge, it's only pool cameras, and as soon as the hearing's over, he pulls the footage. It's just, I know I'm going to watch it because that's all that people are going to be doing. But I think it'll be more like in the background, like at work, and if I go for a delivery, not pause. That's how we're going to watch that case. When I walk back into the room, I'll catch little things. But I am finding that with this case, I'm kind of enjoying watching it on Law and Crime, I think it's the network. I always want to say Law and Order, but that's the TV show. I think it's Law and Crime. And then they have sub-channels now, which I'm watching the treadmill case over there. But I wish I had commentary on the treadmill case, and I wish I'd like it better without the commentary. But what I'm finding is, then today, this morning, I was watching RA watch day 13 that I watched. I don't know if I finished day 13 last night. I think I did. I'm on day 14, that's right. But it's making me mad. But so yesterday where I left off is they were still talking about friends and acquaintance, and this fancy pants lawyer, I forgot what I called him, is trying so hard. And so his argument, I'm just going to say last night because that's when I watched it, last night. His argument was that you don't go places with someone if they're just your acquaintance, that you have to be friends. And it got me thinking, no. When I was in high school, I had this friend, Jennifer. And Jennifer was friends with me, and she was friends with Cheryl. I didn't care for Cheryl. Cheryl was a know-it-all, and just the attention always had to be on her, which, I mean, I didn't want the attention on me. I just wanted to be there, and I'm more of a stand back and listen and give witty comments back, you know. I like the banter, but I don't want the whole thing to be on me. That makes no sense because now I have a YouTube channel and it's all about me. But I don't feel like it's just different. In real life, it's okay. I've only been to one retreat. You can ask anyone at that retreat. I didn't go around and be the social butterfly. I'm not that type. I'll sit back and in my little group I'll talk. But anyways, I just didn't care for Cheryl at all. But we went to so many places together because Jennifer would invite both of us. You know? So, yeah, there's pictures of me and Cheryl together. There's actually one picture where I had my arm around Cheryl, it was a big group picture, and they say, get closer, and I just like hugged Cheryl to me. But if it was just us together, I wouldn't hug her, you know? It was just like, or pull her to my side. It's just, I hope this jury is like putting themselves in that person's shoes and realizing, oh yeah, and the whole Facebook thing, I have Facebook friends. Well, I think I said this yesterday about my old Facebook. I had a whole bunch of high schoolers on there that I went to high school with, that some actually bullied me. It doesn't matter if you're friends on Facebook. It's not real I mean, you do have real friends on there, but I don't know. They're acquaintance. Okay, so that's the whole friend thing that is still driving me up the frickin' wall. Can you tell? Okay, the next thing. They're so fixated on the no one waking up in the Albert household. The sirens weren't on. There were flashing lights, but like she said, she had she had blinds pulled down, then curtains closed. You're not going to see that. With my house, we have someone across the street who usually likes to cause chaos at night. And there's been quite a few times that the cops have been called and they leave their flashing lights on. And if it wasn't for the surveillance, I wouldn't see it. And there's been times when John has been in the bedroom and I'll text him like, what the hell's going on across the street? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the lights are flashing. And he comes out and then we watch the surveillance to see what's going on. But Toby has embarked, and if you guys have been here for a while, you'll know my dog is a barker. Someone walking across the sidewalk, he barks. Anything will set that dog off. Sometimes a leaf floating by, he'll bark. But Toby doesn't notice it and bark. So, and they'd be screaming out there too. So, because then, we have to be those people. You put on the Ring camera and you get to actually listen to it. I know I'm crazy. But, so I can see, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. They stayed up till 2. So they had 4 hours sleep. Do you think something easily as lights flashing? And I understand why the dog didn't wake up. Okay, I gotta run in here and then I'll be out. Okay, so I know I'm jumping around from days because, I wrote notes, but I didn't say page 1 or say what day it was. I know what I'll do. I'll take the side street. So, anywho, one other thing. Oh, so I'm just going to pull out of the way. Sorry, my brain just went. Oh, so, Colin is on the stand, the one I'm watching. I think it's day 13 or 14. I don't remember now. Anywho, okay, so, yep, I have to wait for you to move. Hopefully that's your last garbage can. Yay! So they showed the videos of him saying, I'm gonna fuck you up. And me, once again. And, so they're saying that there's no possible way that he was falling and he messed up his, knuckles falling. Bullshit. I've done that. I've messed up my knuckles when I fell. I was holding a vase in my hand, and in my other hand I had my car keys. So I couldn't open my hand and, you know, brace myself. So my dumb ass braced myself with my fist, and it messed up my knuckles big time. So it can happen. That's another thing today I was watching. They're like, oh, there's no way. It's like, it happened to me. Yes, there is a way. Anywho. But I was sitting there and I was thinking, oh, and they're like, so they play these videos, you know, that he likes to fight and stuff. And it was, from my understanding, a different high school or I don't know, another team was like, you know, talking smack, basically. But now it's the, what is it? What is this called? The millennium? I think. When we were in high school, there wasn't videos. There wasn't, you know, texting and stuff like that. We would call on the phone and do prank calls and, you know, star 67, talk smack, you know. Oh, if you're so tough, why don't you come on over here? And then the whole time you're with your friends, and when are they going to show up? Are they going to show up? I don't know. If they show up, I'm running, you know. But at the time, you talk big smack. But if someone came, I'm out of there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it sounds like you're ready to fight someone. It's like, no, what it really sounded like is that they were giving smack, and you could hear in the background on the one video their friends being like, yeah, or something like that. It's like, but did anyone show up and fight anyone? No. It was all just talk. So that was pissing me off this morning. But I was sitting there thinking, he's a Boston cop. He looks to be in shape. He was very active with his niece and nephew that he adopted. So, and at the time, Colin was, what, a junior in high school? Maybe a senior? So, a cop has training in taking suspects down and all that. I don't see Colin actually fighting him and killing him. Unless, you know, something was bashed over his head or something. I don't know. I think the fancy pants lawyers are really trying to do one of the, hey, look over there. Look at this family. They're covering. And, oh my God, yes. He was like, and how do you know it was actually at 12:10 that you left the house? Why is everyone so precise with that? Because it says it in the fucking text message. It says, okay, on my way out, 12:10. And then yesterday too, I don't know what day it was, remind you. But, oh, they're doing them too close. I am not getting close. I hate when they do this. So, the guy was like, I forgot who was on the stand. It was Colin's best friend, but I guess they're related too in a way. I don't know. She's like, he goes, well, don't you know that you could go in your phone? And I didn't know this either. You could go in your phone, and you know when you set up your phone, it asks you what time zone you're in United States and whatever. see how I did that? I made sure there was tons of space in between. He kept bringing us forward. Oh, I better stop. It's probably going to be loud, isn't it? Oh, it's not that loud. Oh, I better just stop it. I'll be back. Yeah, it got really loud. So I was like, yeah, I remember when the brushes go, it gets real loud. So anywho, he's like, well, don't you know that you could go in and change your time zone and then it will say that it's a different time? And when he says that, she's like, what? Really? It's like, yeah, you don't know that? And she's like, no, I didn't know that. And then he was going on about, well, why did you give a screenshot to the officer? Because that's how you do it. Unless they seize your phone, to be helpful, you take a screenshot. But he's making that be like, oh, but you took a screenshot, like you're hiding something. No, I was being willing and handing over the screenshot of my text messages. And then with Colin, he's like, it metadata, and blah, blah, blah. You know what? Until the, my God, like Alex Murdoch. I didn't know about metadata and all that. That's where I learned that out. If you don't watch court cases, would you really know that information? And so then he's like, oh, you don't know about metadata? And he's like, no. He goes, you know, the time and date when a picture's taken, that every time a picture's taken, you give that data. He goes, oh yeah, I know that. Because that's metadata. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that's what it was called. It's like they're trying to make the littlest things into big things. And I think Fancy Pants doesn't realize that they're teenagers or young adults who don't have much experience. I don't see them. Oh my God, I don't see the big cover up. I don't. And I sure hope the jury is not falling for Fancy Pants' outbreaks. And then he's with Colin, he keeps saying these snarl remarks, and the judge has to keep restricting them. It's like, dude. And then they're like, recovery addicts, like, when are they going to show how they say that Karen Reed did this? And they're just doing all they're doing is, what is it called? Like, proving the innocence for the Albert family. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, because they want to get all this shit out now. You know, because if the prosecutor doesn't bring up all the Albert stuff, then, you know, Fancy Pants is going to put them on the stand, and it would be different, because then he would only be able to cross-examine, and this way he can present the case in a different way, and he's not subject to just what the defense wants to bring out. So it's smart for the prosecutor to bring out these witnesses and debunk all the stuff that the defense or Fancy Pants is trying to say the narrative is. And the reason that they're not bringing out the case against Karen Reed yet is because they want to do that right before they arrest. So you're like, oh, now we see how it was Karen Reed who did this. If they did that first and then did all this boring Albert shit, it would be lost. You want to save the most important evidence to the very end. The aha moment is at the end. You don't do the aha moment at the very beginning. So it's just, I think the whole problem is that all these people are on Twitter and hearing all the conspiracy, and And Emily's saying that she's doing it as a juror. She's done research on this. It's just like, I'm just so sick of it. But, yeah. But at least you're getting longer videos because all I'm doing is ranting about the case. But I would like your opinions. Do you think I'm wrong? Say it in the comments. Do you not like hearing about this stuff? Say it in the comments. Because I don't have to talk about the... this is going to be hard. The trials is just what I'm watching right now and obsessed with. Oh, and you didn't get a floss tube yesterday. It was too hot. I felt like there wasn't enough stitching to show you, so you will get one Monday for sure. And I'm not sure how much stitching I'm going to be able to do the rest of the week because I would really like to get things prepped because June is start all the things for me. And that's what I plan on doing. And then July is Christmas in July. So I'll either be starting Christmas stuff or working on Christmas stuff. So, and then I'm really thinking about pulling all the Christmas stuff until December. Maybe 2 weeks before, like a week before Thanksgiving. But I don't know. Okay, I will see you in the next one. It is Wednesday. Okay, I'm an idiot. We all know this, right? So it was really bugging me about the whole Saturday thing. I knew I was missing something. A big chunk of time. My baby boy and Katie and her mom, her brother, and her cousin was going to a football game at Ford Field. So he called me up and asked if we wanted to meet him at Fuddruckers and have dinner together. So that's what we did. That was the big chunk of time. I was like, wait a minute. I felt like I was missing something. Which, oh my God. I love being around them. I love the stories. You could tell me stories all day long. I love it. So, yeah. I was happy that they came down and, thought of us while they were going to the city. Okay, so, what did I work on last night? My freaking hip is killing me, so if I go a little high pitch, it's because it hurts. I worked on Empire State Building last night. I did 700 stitches, and I almost have, now it's funny, I have from like the neck to his, right before his ankle, basically done of a person. So I'm really thinking about, I really want to stitch it on him again tonight. And kind of like, I don't know. But then I kind of want to just put it up. I don't know what I want to do.
Arriving at 16031 Curtis on the
16031. Hopefully they're home. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so, I don't know what I'm going to work on tonight. I was really enjoying that one. I might switch back to, what is it called?
Rose Street.
Oh my gosh. Hello, friends. Yeah. And stitch on that. I don't know, because all I did was a little bit of the house. What I need to do is I need to buy more nurges. I think the reason that I got so much of it done is that I didn't have to move the hoop. I just worked, and I actually skipped around a little too. So, I don't know. Then I'm thinking, well, maybe I should work on Pokemon. But I want to work on something that I get a lot of stitches in tonight. I want a good 800.
1 mile. Turn left on Prospect Highway.
Because I'm hoping not to take a nap when I get home. Okay, so many interruptions today. That was Johnny calling. Yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna get home and I'm gonna look and see what I have and see what I'm in the mood to stitch. I don't know. But I was really enjoying the Empire State. I might bring out turtles. Ooh, I feel... Okay, so it's either going to be turtles or it's going to be at the railroad. Ooh, or black vintage. Okay, it's going to be one of those three. Because I can get some good progress on those. I'll just see when I get home what calls to me. But I definitely do want to buy a couple more of the Nurges. For sure. Okay. So, this morning, so last night, see, by the time I get home from work, it is freaking hot outside. So it's kind of hard to plant the garden when I get home from work. So, last night, I text Becca, I said, hey, listen, how about if we get up at 8 and then plan to be outside at 8:30? And she's like, okay. So that's what we did. But I woke up with, I call it a sour stomach. So I said, how about 9 o'clock? Let me sit here for a half an hour and not feel like I had to puke. So we got out there at 9 o'clock and
3/4 of a mile. Turn
me
right
and
on
Johnny
East
started
9 Mile
to
Road.
plant the pumpkins. So we got the pumpkins planted, and then by then Becca had come out and I showed her where I wanted the tarps. So we put down tarps, and then we put down that black fabric, felt, whatever. It's landscaping, the black fabric that you put down. And then she staked it. And then John's going to make us take landscape boards, and he's going to put boards around that. Then we have these
In 1/2
bricks
mile, turn left on Automobile Boulevard.
that people put to do landscaping out front. You make flower beds out of them or whatever. We have a whole bunch of those. So we're going to put a brick down, and then we're going to put the colorful buckets on top of the brick. And those are going to be my potatoes. Because you want to really, if you're going to grow potatoes, you want to grow them in a bucket. Growing them in the ground, why even do that to yourself?
In 1/4 mile,
It's just so much
turn left
easier
on
to dump the
Automobile
bucket
Boulevard.
and then to scoot the dirt away and get your potatoes. So then, after we get the bricks down,
Turn left on Automobile Boulevard.
then we're taking, and this year, we're going to do black mulch. I asked Becca, I said, okay, you got the choice. You got tan, red, or black. And she's like, ooh, let's do black. I'm like,
1/4 mile,
okay, let's
turn
do
right,
black.
Republic Avenue.
So, this is the weekend. If you ever need mulch, you get it on Memorial Day weekend. It's $5 for $10, or it's $2 a bag. I don't know. I can't remember if you're saving $1.50 or $2. I just don't remember, because it's 3 something usually a bag. So today after work, me and John are going to get 20 bags. And I told him, I said, I just want to get them now because today's Wednesday. The sale has been going on for a week, which if I was really smart, I would have done it last week, because I went to go do curbside pickup, and this week they're not allowing it. But last week they did. So I should have really done it last week when it was on sale last week too.
Turn right on Republic Avenue.
So, okay, so we're turning right. So we're going to get the 20 bags of mulch. And I told John, I said, we're going to put it right under the carport. We got the
Republic on the left.
136. That would be this house right here. I said, we have the new security camera. I'm not going to be paranoid if someone tries to steal it, because I have a Ring camera right underneath it, you know. I can get on there and say, hey, get the fuck out of my lawn. Okay, hold on. Let's try to finish it up in this clip. Oh my gosh. The one time, and the phone won't stop ringing. I was just at that residence for 10 minutes. The neighbor got a hold of me. It was a chit chatter. Okay, so we got the corn planted. So I actually got 3 rows of, oh God, now I feel like I'm gonna start choking. 3 rows of corn that I, what do you say it? I started from seed in the Florida room. And then I have 2 rows where I just put the seed in the ground. So I'm gonna see, does it make a big difference to do it early? That's the best way I can explain it. So tomorrow morning, my goal is to wake up early again, and we're gonna plant the tomatoes. Oh, when I get home from work, we're gonna plant the tomatoes in the front yard. And then tomorrow, we're gonna plant the tomatoes and the, I hate people who have to swing left to make a right. Your car ain't that big. And don't be swerving into my lane. I feel a little tickle in my throat, and I feel like I'm gonna start just coughing. So that's the goal tomorrow, is to get the tomatoes and the peppers in the ground. I really need to make a list for Home Depot, because I need to get more seeds. I need to get the lettuce, all the different types of lettuce I want to do, because then I'm hoping sometime this weekend I'm going to plant the rest of the stuff. Becca's got to take care of her what's it called? Herbs and peppers. So I'm only planting bell peppers. She's planting jalapenos, habaneros. We got one pack that said salsa mix. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. We're very excited. And we got her area set up where she's going to have her herb garden. So on the back end of the, what is it called? Greenhouse 1, we tarped, and that's gonna be like, there's 2 tables there, and that's where her herbs and peppers, and then on the one table I'm gonna have my salad bowl mix. So I'm kind of excited to get that all set up. We're getting things rearranged in the background, in the backyard, how I want it to be. So when it's harvest time, we can take the potatoes over to the tarp that I have on the other side of greenhouse 2, and that's where we're gonna dump the dirt and everything, and that's where I'm gonna mix the black cow manure, the peat moss, the perlite, and then our dirt to make it a nice nutrients dirt to plant in the containers. So that's the goal. So then when it comes to next year when we plant, we'll just have to remove, because then after we dump it all, then we're going to put another tarp on it and put bricks so the wind and, you know, all that weather, the snow and everything can pile on top of it, but not actually like washing away my dirt is the best way I can explain it. So I'm kind of excited to get it all done today, to this weekend. So from here on out, it's easier. Oh, and yesterday I ordered my sprinkler, and Johnny said that we need to get, so you know how on the spigot you can add things where you can have 2 hoses? Well, I was gonna add one where you could have 3 hoses. And John's like, why don't we not do that? And on the end of, before it goes to the box that, I don't know, it's this box that you put the hose in and you can wind it, but it's so much better than the stupid one that falls over when you're trying to wind it. And this one, we used it all last year and it never got tangled or anything. So how do I get in here? So it's like this garden box. We just call it the box, the garden box, the hose box. That's what we call it. Like, no, we don't call it the garden box. We call it the hose box. So I bought one for the front yard too this year. So I'm kind of happy about that. But he said to, why not just put that on the end of the hose that is going to the box. Okay, I'll be right back. Or maybe I could just finish. No, I'll just... He said to do that at the end before it gets connected to the black, to the, why do I want to call it a black box now? It's a brown hose box. LWR at 12:40 p.m. Okay, so that way I'm trying to set us up for not failure, but the easiest way to water. So I bought a hose, a sprinkler, and that, I don't know what you're gonna call it, a converter? I don't know. Splitter, hose splitter? I don't know. So the whole thing is I'm going to put the sprinkler in between. Okay, where am I going now? I'm going right here, dumbass. In between the 2 greenhouses. So it'll water those, and it will actually water the herbs and salad. I want to call it a salad bar. The salad bar too. So then we'll only have to take the other hose and do the potatoes. And then in the front yard, we have to do the tomatoes. So it'll be less time having to stand out there. Are you going? Okay. Less time standing out there watering. And what I like is they're shut-off valves. So we can sit out in the gazebo while the sprinkler's going on. And then when the sprinkler's done, then we can shut that one off and turn the other valve on. And then we can water those. Or water them at the same time. I don't think there's going to be enough pressure, though. That's the only thing. But we can actually sit out there and watch the sprinkler. And I know my ass is going to be in that sprinkler sometimes, running back and forth. Because who doesn't like a sprinkler? That was like my favorite, being able to run through the sprinklers. And a lot of my time growing up, we lived next to the Mount Clemens High School. And we lived by the tennis courts and the track. And they would always turn the sprinklers on, and we would run outside. When the sprinklers were on, we would run outside and play in the sprinklers. So, yeah. Okay, I'm getting off of here because this is going to be, it's Wednesday. And I think it's already like outrageous. It's got to be at least an hour long already. I know some people don't like long videos. I like to keep mine about an hour. So I try, but sometimes I'm very talkative, and then sometimes I'm not. So I'm getting off right now. Bye, guys. Hello! It is Thursday. It feels like Friday, but it's Thursday. So last night, I thought I was going to be done by 2 o'clock. I really thought I was going to be done by 2 o'clock. 2:30 at the latest. That didn't happen. It really sucks when you have to wait for someone to do their job so you can do your job. The day before I walked in, okay, I got my drink here. Hold on, let me take a drink. Oh, my door's open. Okay, I thought something felt weird. I could hear a little bit of the wind blowing. So, Tuesday. Oh, man, this is going to be one of these clips. Tuesday when I walked in, at 11:30, I only had 10 orders, and 2 of them were done. That's bullshit. All of them should have been done. But in my opinion, someone didn't want to have to do corsages, so took their time on the orders. That day, I didn't get home until almost 4 o'clock, which I was pissed about. That was the day, too, I think I told you yesterday about how, at the end, I had to go run a funeral, and I got there at 4:05, and the funeral started at 4 o'clock. Anywho. So yesterday I thought, oh my God, okay, John's with me. When I was looking at the screen, it was like, okay, we got this. We're going to do this, right? No. Once again, my orders weren't done, so it threw everything for a loop. And we didn't get done until, drum roll, 4 o'clock. So, we already had plans because this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Home Depot puts their mulch on sale. I think I talked about this yesterday too. So the plan was that we were going to go yesterday to get mulch because we wanted to get it before everyone started getting it. My thought on the matter was that there would be people, you would think you would have staff ready to help in the garden center when this is the planting weekend. But no. So right when I walked in, I asked the lady, I said, is there anyone to assist with mulch? And she's like, yep, there's 2 guys. I'm like, oh, cool. I get back there. I don't see no guys. So I see this one lady, and I said, hey, is there any way that you can like page someone to help with mulch? And she's like, well, I'm busy right now, But when I get up there, I'll page someone for you. I was like, okay. So we stayed there about 10 minutes. We have our cart because we know we're going to need a cart because we have 20 socks that we're getting. So after 10 minutes, I go up to the cashier and I say, can you page someone to come help with mulch in the back? And she goes, well, do you have a cart? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, because if they go back there and you don't have a cart, they won't help you. I'm like, no, I have the cart. I am ready for this. So another guy comes with a cart, and we're just standing on the other side of it. We're out of people's way, and we wanted the black mulch, and the black mulch was out by itself. So the guy comes up, and it's been another maybe 15 minutes now. So I've been standing out there for 25 minutes in the beating sun, mind you. I said, Becca, why don't you take a walk and just find someone? We need someone to help, because with my back right now, there's no way in hell I'm doing it. And I can't have Becca do it, because then she's going to come home and unload the car. And no, I'm not doing that. This is why you have help at Home Depot, right? So the guy's like, well, how many do you need? I'm like, 20. He's like, wow. He said, and no one has come. I said, no, we've talked to 2 different people to get us help, and no one has come. So that's why I'm sending her off again, just to find someone and physically bring them over. And he was getting 10 of himself, 10 for himself. So all of a sudden, he starts throwing them on my cart. And I'm like, oh my God, sir, you are amazing. And I was like, damn, I don't even have any cash. I can't even give you cash. He goes, I wouldn't even accept it if you had it. I'm like, oh, bless your heart. So he did the 20 bags. When I got to the cashier, I said, I need someone to load this. He goes, did anyone ever show up for you? I'm like, no. She said, I put out a page 3 different times for someone to come back there to help you. I said, no. The guy that helped me was in front of me in line. I said, that kind sir loaded up my car. And she tucked her head out of her window, because she's in a little shack with an air conditioning unit. She's like, thank you, sir. And she's like, oh, don't worry. We have someone to load it to your car. This is his only job. Which I saw him out there. So I was thinking, they had someone out there. So, and sure enough, it was the guy that I saw. So they loaded, and then John backed up, totally backed up, right where we were going to dump it. And the height level was perfect. She did 10 and I did 10. It wasn't that bad because of where it was. I was just able to grab, fling. Now, did it mess up my back? After that, I was hurting pretty bad. And I was nauseous from being in the sun. So when we got done with that, I came in the house and I'm like, okay, I have to go take a shower. I am just dripping with sweat. Mind you, the humidity was quite high, and the real feel was 96. So yeah, I knew I was gonna be sweating. Trust me, right when I got home, I was like, I said, because I was on the phone with John, as we were driving back, and I was telling him the whole story about the guy helping and all that. I said, now let you know, right when I get home, I'm going inside and I'm taking off my bra, because I'm not getting my bra all sweaty doing this, and then that means I would have to wash my clothes, and I didn't want to deal with all that. So it's just easier to take off the bra and let the girls just swing along with the mulch. So, anywho, I just needed to tell him that because I didn't want him to think, or Becca think, that I was just running into the house and not helping. And Becca's like, oh, good idea, I'm going to do the same. So we both ran into the house. But anywho, after that, I took a shower. And, before I even took a shower, I was sitting in the living room. I'm like, oh my God, it is just so hot. And he's like, our bedroom's much cooler. I was getting a little complex. He said it 4 times. I said, I'm going to take a shower. He goes, then you need to go to the bedroom. I looked at him and said, do you want me to spend the night in the bedroom? He's like, oh, I don't care. If you want to stay out here, that's fine. I'm like, well, you're giving me a little complex that you don't want me in the living room tonight. He's like, I'm just saying it's cooler in our bedroom. I was just in there. I'm like, okay. So I took a shower and I went to my bedroom. And my whole intentions was to stitch on black vintage. Or should I call it blue vintage, because mine's in blue. Anywho. So I got all comfy and I did probably about 70 stitches, and I just wasn't feeling good. I was like, you know what? No, I need to just turn off the light. And at that point, I was watching, finally they came back into court, the treadmill trial. And there were 2 days. There was the Monday, or was it the Friday? I don't remember now. Which I knew that they were going to be on today, because they've been saying why the trial has been delayed is because they were waiting for this one doctor to come back from every year at this time of year. She goes to her, I think they said the motherland, and visits her family. And so they knew that she couldn't come on the stand until Wednesday the 23rd. Or 22nd? Yeah, it was supposed to be the 21st, and then it was the 22nd. It was Wednesday, whatever. What was yesterday's date? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and then I will come back and finish the story. Okay, back on the road here. So, it was okay. Basically, all we got to see was the one person testify. Oh, no, I'm take that back. Because I watched 2 days. But it was like 2 witnesses. 30 minutes. I would be pissed if I was a juror that was, had to come in and just listen to about a half an hour worth of testimony, but was there probably for about good 2 hours because all of the sidebars that were happening. But I'm telling you, this lawyer for the defense for the guy who basically beat his son to death is what happened. I don't think that the jury really likes him, especially the women. But this is just my opinion. Because, or who knows, maybe the men too. I don't know. I can't say it's the women or the men. But he says, he acts very male chauvinist. And when it happens, the prosecutor looks at the jury and gives them I know, he's ridiculous, isn't he? And what really makes me creeped out is whenever they go to sidebar. So his partner is a lady, and then you have 2 lady prosecutors, and then the court reporter is a female. So So, of course, everyone waits for the court reporter to bring her little machine over to the sidebar. And then, usually, the defense woman goes in. And the prosecutors are like standing back. And every single time he's like, no, ladies, you go. And so they have to walk in. And then when they're leaving, he makes sure he's the last one out. It's like, that's creepy. That is, I don't like that. No, it's just weird. But, I mean, this woman, like, has been in the field of infection disease pediatrics. And how he was like doing his cross-examination, it was like, really? You're gonna try to trip her up on a medical term or something? It was like, okay, good try. And when he would do it, the prosecutor would just like nod at the jury like, yeah, he's being an ass again. There was one, I think it was a nurse, he was actually like yelling at her. And it was like, oh my God. Yeah, no. But now I totally understand what happened to the child, because I wasn't understanding how did he actually die. They're saying pneumonia, but the day before his mother took him to 3 different ERs or doctors, ER, and then another hospital, because the doctor said take him to this place, and then that hospital said no, you got to take him over there because we don't have the technology. I think they needed a CAT scan and they didn't have CAT scanners. It's something like that. So they had to go to a different hospital. But the one thing that really saved her, and let me tell you, I'm just going to raise it up and say, someone knew something. I think the good Lord had his hand in that one. Where am I? Oh my God, did I pass where I'm supposed to go? Because I'm just talking. Shady Lane. I think my exit is coming up. I'm like totally lost where I'm at. Yes, okay, my exit's coming up. Because I know that the Coney Island is, I can see that board first. And I'm like, yep, that's the stuff at my exit. Anywho, they were saying it was pneumonia. Oh, the only thing that's like really saving the mother too is because she accidentally recorded her son when she was dropping him off. Now, how do I know it's an accident? Because there's no picture of the son. The camera is like pointed towards the dash or the floorboard or something like that. And you could tell it was like a butt record. You know, you just happened. And the defense lawyer's like, oh, you just happened to do this. Just, it was a coincidence. It's never happened before. But on this day, it's like, I look at John, I said, how many times have you recorded a little clip and you were like, when the hell did I do that? Or taking a picture? You know? He's like, this defense lawyer is just trying so hard, and yeah. And whenever the treadmill video is being brought up, he gets a little like, but oh, there was one cop on there, and this makes me mad. So the one cop that so the mother had him sent, this was like probably like a couple of days before the before he died. It was after the treadmill accident and before he died. And we know it wasn't like the day before, because she was taking him to hospitals and everything. She called for a welfare check on her child. And the police officer who showed up to do the welfare check had seen a couple of weeks ago this gentleman playing football at the high school with his son. He was not on the field. He was just driving by. So he didn't hear what the father was saying. And with the treadmill video, I think he really would need to hear what the father's saying. Now, am I saying he was probably out there running him and calling him a loser and you're fat and you gotta, which the kid was not fat whatsoever, but you know what I mean? Oh, you gotta man up, you gotta man up. All he saw is he was driving by and saw the guy playing with his son. So that's proof enough for him that he's a good father. So when he was sent for the well check, he recognized the guy and knew from experience that he was a good father. Saw the bruises, saw the cut above his eye, but didn't do anything because he knew this family and he knew he was a good father. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, my mind was blown. So then the next day was Tuesday. I think that the cops were on Friday. Then we had Tuesday, and that's when I fell asleep because all they were doing, there was no witnesses, no nothing. It was, what is that called? They were finalizing the charge notes or charge. It's what is handed over to the jury to say, you know, it's long. The judge reads it before he releases the jury. No, before the closing statements, the judge reads the charge, what he's going to charge the jury. I don't understand that, because when I think of charge, I'm like, oh, you're charging the defendants, but I guess it's what they have to, the guidelines. That's what they should just call it, the guidelines that the juries has to follow. Because each trial is different. Things were said. So, you know, you have to do it. Okay. Yeah, so that court case was just... Oh, I fell asleep. That's right. Because they were doing the charges for the jury. So I woke up and they were still doing the charges for the jury. I'm like, okay, you know what? It was 2 hours. I only had a half an hour nap. That's okay. So I was like, you know what, I'm getting over this. And then I went to the doctor's testimony. And then I was like, do I really? I want to read my book because I only have to the 31st to read these books. And when Becca did the math the other day, which I think I've only listened to about an hour, because yesterday was so crazy I couldn't listen to it. I tried, but the phone kept ringing and it was just like, it was just frustrating. Oh, I gotta put my address in. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm gonna try to talk and do this, but sometimes it just doesn't work. 19340 PARLOW. Okay. Oh, and what time was that? 10:55. Okay, go. Oh my God. I thought that car was in my lane. Oh, okay. I know, that's very dangerous to do. I shouldn't do it, but I do it. So, anyways. So, I was like, okay, let me just put on the Karen Reed trial. Well, that woke me up. And I did 200 stitches on vintage, black vintage. So, that case, it just kills me. It just kills me how they are trying, the commentary is just trying so hard to make this a conspiracy theory. And from what I'm seeing, she did it. Did she do it on purpose? No, I think she was drunk and she did it. But, so what I watched last night was, oh God, now I can't remember his name. I know her name because I don't know how many times they said, Jen, 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 repeating Karen, screaming Jen's name. But she's the sister of the Alberts, so that's how she's connected. But they had her husband on, and the defense is trying so hard to say this, get them to say this one thing, and they're just not going along with it, because really, once he says it, it's like, you worked that hard to get that out, and it was so stupid, I don't even remember what it was. It's just ridiculous. Oh, at one point he's like, yeah, didn't you see Mr. Albert and Brian fighting each other in the bar? And he's like, what? What are you talking about? When did that happen? And he goes, sorry, that I can't. Whatever. There's a cop like right in the turnaround down there, just sitting there, and there's a car accident right there. It's just crazy. So he's like, I didn't see any fights. It's like, you were right there and you actually looked at him at one point. He's like, oh, when they were playing, oh, what did he say? Grab ass with each other? And the defense lawyer goes, you mean he was trying to grab his ass? And the guy's like, no, it's a term, that they were playing around. They were, I forgot the word he used. And he's like, no, didn't you see the Mr. Albert square up? Or something like that. I don't know those terms. And he's like, what? No, I'd never seen that. They were playing grab ass. It was just, they're trying so hard. So hard. And it got me to thinking, damn, I never want to go to a bar again. If anyone calls for help, no, I'm not helping you, because then you're going to throw me on the stand and make me look like a fucking idiot. Sorry, there's a lot of swearing. That's what this case does to me. So it's just like, I just can't. I can't. So then at one point, I forgot what he was trying to get. It was this whole thing where he was trying to get something out. And it was like, I think what he was trying to get out, now that I think about it, is that the directions that him and his wife gave John, and his name is John. I don't know why I didn't remember that. My husband's name is John, so that's an easy name to remember. John is the deceased. They're like, from what I got out of it is he was trying to say there's no way that those track marks could be from Karen if she did what they said with the directions. And he's like, well, if she made the wrong turn, then she could be coming from the other way. But after hearing this is my theory. She was drunk, tipsy, drunk, whatever you want to call it. She shouldn't have been behind the wheel. Yes, they left and they were happy. And then when they were getting the directions, I think it was Jen who said, go past Bella's house. And John used to date Bella's mom. And I think that Karen got pissed off because they brought up Bella and she got jealous and they started fighting because they're both tipsy. And you know, well, I don't know if John was tipsy because he was just drinking beer. I know you can have a lot of beer and get tipsy, but when he was like walking and stuff, it didn't look like he was drunk, you know. He wasn't stumbling or nothing like that. And that's why still my theory that a teenager would not be able to beat up a Boston cop because he wasn't fall down drunk, you know. There's training with those people. So I think she was like a dog with a bone and wouldn't let it go, and then it blew into a bigger argument than it should have ever been. It shouldn't have been an argument, but she seems to be the jealous type, just saying. And that's just me being petty too, I guess. But I don't know, in my opinion, I feel she gives off those she's a jealous bitch vibe. You know?
1 mile. Turn right on Barlow Street.
Her way or no way. I mean, they argued about taking the child to Dunkin' Donuts. So, you know, whatever. Okay. So, at one point, you know, he keeps asking the same questions and he keeps giving like the same answers. And this guy, I think he has like veneers. He's got bright white teeth, you know, and he like doesn't smile like ha, you know, but he does this like little like, it looks like a half-assed smile, you know, or like, I always think of it as like, where are you going with this? You know, like, what? Huh? You know? And you show more teeth, which someone can say, oh, that was a smile. And it's just like, no, I'm just, and like he said, you keep asking the same questions. I'm not smiling. I'm just, you know. And he doesn't say what it is. But the guy, the defense lawyer is like, oh, you think this is funny? It's like, no, that's not your gotcha moment. He's trying so hard to get these gotcha moments, which is sickening. So,
in 1/4 mile, turn right on Barlow Street.
Then his wife gets on the stand. Now, she is, oh no, I'm joking myself. One thing about her testimony is every time I drive by that Coney Island, I look to see if there's Kias in the parking lot. Because they're probably stolen because that's where they took my car. Gosh, my brain. Oh, there was something I was going to say about that witness on the stand. Oh, that's right. So they're a family, right? So they're in a text message group. And the one text message was he happened to drive by his brother-in-law's house and saw that the cops were still out there. Now, the defense lawyer tried to bring this into a whole different thing. But, you know, my reasonable brain has to look at it. I step back and I look at, you know, what's being said. And he's like, oh, so you were, oh, did he say, not casing it out, but I can't, this is her driveway. You were I can't say the word, maybe that's why. Being like, oh, how do you, keeping an eye out, seeing what the cops are doing, tracking the cops and seeing how the investigation's going and stuff like that. He's like, no, I was just driving by and I saw them out in front of his house, and I said, hey, you know, the cops are out there today. This is basically how I think the conversation was going. I don't know what it is word for word, because I wasn't taking notes yesterday. So basically, he texts the family, like, hey, the cops are out there in front of the house again. And, what is his name? Brian Albert? Is that who lives there? I get so confused with the names. He's like, oh, what are they doing? And he's like, it looks like they're digging or something. And he's like, I don't remember what he said. He's like, I'll take a picture if I can. That's a normal response. If I drove by, I can't say family, Sandy's house. She's more like family. And I saw someone out there, I'd be like, even if it was just like a guy, you know, a normal person, hey, did you know there's a guy in front of your house? When I see that their car is not there. Now, if she was home, I wouldn't say that. But if her car wasn't there, I'd be like, hey, there's this guy doing something in front of your house. Or if she was involved in an investigation and there was a cop in front of her house, I'm like, hey, did you know the cops are back looking at your property? That's what I would say. And then I would say, oh, I'll try to take a picture for you. There's nothing malice in that whatsoever, in my opinion. But they're making it be like it's a whole conspiracy. And then, I guess she went on some local news. And so they started talking about it. And the guy said, hey, you need to let them know that he never came in the house. And the defense is like, who were you saying that to? And he's like, well, I need to go a couple, because, you know, it'll be like 20 text messages, and they show him like 3 text messages in the middle of the conversation. He's like, well, I need to read back a little bit to know what's going on, because I don't know what the conversation is really about. And so he reads back, he goes, oh, this was the Channel 4 news, something, whatever, interview or something like that. And he's like, who is them? He's like, the Channel 4 news? It's like, oh, you're not talking about, like, telling the family when they get interviewed that they have to say he never went in the house? And he's like, what? No. I was talking about the news people. Why would you have to tell the news people that? It's like, because if they get interviewed, then, hey, make sure you tell the news. The guy never came in my house. It's just, and here's another thing, too. They're from Jersey, right? Jersey, like all of different states, different communities have their way of talking, right? So, are you gonna go? Or are you just gonna sit there and stare? So I feel like it's just the way they talk too, you know? And they're a family too. So when I read these when I hear these text messages, I do it in a Jersey accent, just like grabbing asses. Right when he said it, I knew what that meant. But you're gonna turn it into a whole different thing than it is? They were joking around. They were play fighting, you know. They were being boys at the end of a long trip, and they were winding down at a bar, having some drinks and playing grab ass, basically, you know? But it's just how they, like, try to twist everything. It's like, I see that as very innocent. So then, we get to now this is where I am pissed at RA, recovering addict. When he said this, I was like, oh, you make me want to throw up right now. So the wife comes on. Jen. I can't. Both of them saying that. That's what Karen kept saying. Jen. And here's my thing too. Okay, so let me go, because I will forget this. So she's telling her story, and she's telling it really good. And At one point she says, then we went back to Jen's house. Or no, they went to go, that's right. Jen went to Karen's house to pick up Karen to go look for John, right? And did I write that down? No. Oh, I have to do my job here. So they pull up and I don't remember now why Karen was in her car. Because it looked like Karen got out of the car. Maybe not. I don't know. But from what Jen said is when they pulled up, Karen was like, look, my tail light is broken. And she said we looked at it and then went into the house and was searching the house to see, if John fell asleep somewhere where they didn't look, So when they played the ring video, you see them pull up and you see him walk in the house. So he's the recovery addict, Scott. His name's Scott. I'm just calling him Scott. I hate calling him recovery addict. And I think that's the stupidest name too. It's because he does metal detecting. It makes me bleh. So, anyways, what was I trying to say? So he's like, oh, as the video's playing, he's like, oh yeah, you can definitely see that the tail light is broken. And then we're watching and he's like, oh my God, she's a liar. She's a liar. And I'm like, what? It's like, she said that they stopped and they investigated it and they were all standing around staring at it. It's like, this is the thing that's really pissing me off, is in her mind, Karen said, look, it's broken. And they're walking into the garage and they look and you can see, wow, yeah, it's broken. She does say they went over there and they started touching and, in her memory, this is a very tragic thing that happened. So in her memory, she remembered it a little differently, And I could see this happening. As they were walking in the car, they're still discussing it, but how she said it, it made them sound like they were discussing it and looking at it all together at the car. But because her memory didn't remember it exactly to her words, then she's a liar? How? It's just, I hate when these court cases, when they're trying to purge, and I'm sorry, but still, and he was going on, oh, yeah, I don't trust anyone who's talked so far. They've all been perjured or whatever. It's like, have they? Because I didn't hear the judge saying you have to disregard this person's testimony because they were perjured or whatever the freaking word is, So in your mind, you think they perjured, and they're like, he goes, yeah, they've all had the same exact story, saying the same exact words. It's like, I don't think they did, really. It's just, I don't know. And I see, like, with the one family who has Colin, after they start, like, getting the finger pointed to them, as a family, I'd be like, hey, Colin, what time did you get picked up from there? And Colin's like, oh, I got a text message. Oh, it said at 12:10. Well, then they all have that in their head. 12-10, 12-10. Easy number to remember, right? 12-10, 12-10. But the defense is like, oh, they had this family meeting and now we're all going to get our story straight. This is happening to them. So, discussing as a family, I don't think, they make it sound like someone's like the father's going, okay, now we're all going to sit down and we're all going to get our story straight. They're all telling their story, and I don't know. It's just like, I don't think there's any conspiracy around that. I think as a family they talked about it, and then when they were told not to talk about it, they didn't talk about it. It still pisses me off. The defense lawyer's like, oh, and your father and mother came home from the trial, from testifying, and no one said anything. It was just like a normal day. Well, if your attorney tells you don't discuss it, you don't discuss it. So you have to, what is it called? Mentally, it means like you see the elephant in the room. Like the elephant in the room is bad. You see the dog in the room, and you're told not to look at the dog. So you're going to mental something. So you're not going to think or look at that dog. You have to just look forward. So that's what they did. In my opinion, that's what they did. You're not allowed to talk about something, so we're going to act like that didn't even happen today. We're going to go on with our normal lives, talk about what's going on for dinner. Do you have any plans tonight? And we're not discussing it. And the defense is like, oh, we know you went home and talked about it. It's like, oh, maybe you do something like that, but when I'm told not to do something, I don't do it. So anyways, when Scott was calling her a liar, she's a liar, she's a liar. He said it more than once. I was like, this is BS. Oh, my blood pressure's so bad. So now, tonight when I get home, I've only watched like 5 minutes of the defense, and it's already starting to piss me off. But here's my other thing too. I thought I was going to see Johnny. Johnny's coming to the car wash too. Is that him pulling out? No. I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say. I will take notes tonight. Oh no, this is what I was going to say real fast. Is that it's kind of funny. The one thing about them keep saying that Katie and Jen has this whole conspiracy that they got their story straight. She told the cop before she even left the Albert's house that morning. There was no time to call Katie and get her story straight. So that was a big ding, 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 ding. But in my opinion, there was a fight. She was tipsy. And do I think she meant to hit him? I don't think so. But when she did nothing to help him. And here's the thing too. She's the one who ran right to his body. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. Please let me know in the comments if you like this or don't like this, because this is what's going on. And I mean, I can go back to being just talking about the stitching and not what's going on, but this is what's going on right now. So, okay, I'm letting you go because it's gonna get loud. Bye, guys. Oh, it is Friday. Okay. Oh, I know, we forgot to do the mulch. So, don't mind the garbage can, but we planted this morning. So there's all the tomatoes. Can you see the other bed? I think you can see it now. Then we planted impatiens. Johnny bought me new lights for the beds. So yeah, pretty cool. And we even cut the grass because all of our neighbors are gone for work. So I was like, well shit, get the lawnmower. And I just hit you. And we'll cut the grass too. So the front yard is totally done. Well, except for I gotta put a bag of mulch. So my tomatoes are somewhat protected. So gotta do that still. But besides that, we're good on that front. Yeah, so again, I told Becca, I said, I don't care what time you have to go to bed tonight and what time you need to set your alarm, but 8 o'clock in the morning, we are going to be in the front yard. So, I say that, right? Who stays up till 4 o'clock in the morning? That would be me. I got on freaking TikTok. And the next thing I knew, it was 3:30 in the morning. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get my butt to bed. So, yeah. So there will be a nap in my future, I think, when I get home. But yeah, I'm so glad that we got that all planted. And me and John said today, if there's about an hour that we have to wait for our orders, we're coming home, and in the backyard, we're going to plant the strawberries. The other part of the tomatoes. So, there's my Johnny right there. Yeah, so, because there's no use us sitting at the shop when we can be at home doing shit we want to do. And it's too hot when we get home from work. So that's our plan. By Monday, I want everything planted and be done with, so I can actually start enjoying. Johnny, that was a little risky there. Maybe I really could have went, but it just felt like they were coming way too fast. I want to start being able to enjoy my patio, and I can't when I know that there's planting that needs to be done. So there's that. Whew. Okay, so got home from work last night, and no, I'm sorry. Okay, so we actually got done with work at a decent hour. I had 4 left on me at 2 o'clock, and John was going to be in that area, and I said, hey, why don't you come over here, you take 2, I take 2, and then we go to Home Depot. So then we went to Home Depot, we got the staples to do the rest of the black cloth that you put on the ground. We got the boards to make the beds, and then I know, I gotta talk to him. We're thinking about painting the boards in the front, the beds. I'm gonna have him paint that blue that we have the chairs painted. I think that would look cool. So after we got all that done, there was other things. Oh, we bought the impatiens and more seeds. Because when I bought the seeds, I didn't buy any of the salad mix seeds. And you can just start those, you know, they don't need to be pre-started, however you say it. Okay, we're doing the ums today. So it was a lot of walking in Home Depot. So when I got home, my hip was just screaming. So me and John, and I decided when I take a nap, I'm gonna actually lay in the bed and take a nap. But at night, I'm still gonna sleep in the chair. So we got in bed, and I didn't know if I was gonna take a nap. All I knew is I needed to lay so there was pressure off of my hip. And we were watching OP Live. I did not watch any of the trial yesterday. So I don't know. I really want to know in the comments if you want me to talk about it or not talk about it. Because, yeah. So we watched OP Live, and it was funny. He says that I fell asleep first. But I let myself fall asleep because I saw that he was asleep. And so I took a mental note that we were an hour into OP Live. So when we woke up, we could rewind back to where we were. When we were watching it, I go, this is where I fell asleep. And he goes, no, you fell asleep before me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And the next clip, he's like, tells me what this happened. He goes, this is where I fell asleep. I'm like, But the best thing was, I get in bed, and Toby came right up to my chest, basically. That's the reason I fell asleep. He snuggled down and was dead asleep. I told Johnny, I said, I'm almost in tears. I miss sleeping with him. When we go to bed, he comes to bed with us, and now he sleeps in my spot. So when I got on the bed, John was like, oh, Toby, Grammy took your spot. I'm like, this is my spot. But, so it was really nice. So at night, we take him to bed with us, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning, Becca comes and gets him and goes to bed with her. So I only get him for a few hours at night. And when I was going to bed at midnight, I was only getting him for an hour. But, yeah. So then I got up, and oh, he's not even gonna look at me. I'm staring at Johnny. Nope, he's totally ignoring me. So I got up, and I did 600 stitches, and I told John, I said, okay, you want to go outside? We can at least start the beds. And we were out there for maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, nope, can't do it. I got bit 4 times. John got bit twice. He's like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I'm like, see how it feels? Because they never bite me, and they were biting me. I'm like, they're aggressive. They're very aggressive. He's like, yeah, they are. So, did 600 stitches, which took me to midnight. And then 21 Pilots dropped their album. I listened to it for a little bit, but then my husband and my daughter kept texting me. And I'm like, just screw it. I'm not going to even try to listen to this right now. And somehow I got on TikTok, and that was the night. But I have made a decision. I am going back to 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks doing Flosstube. I'll explain more when I get out. Okay, so the reason I am going back to every other week Flosstube is because I'm feeling too much pressure to get things stitched and it's making it where it's not fun anymore. It's like a job. I feel if I only have 3, maybe 4 projects to show, I feel like it's not enough. And I'm the type that really likes to stitch on something for 2 days in a row. It's just how I've always been. I like to see a lot of progress. And some nights I can only get 200, but the next night I can get 700. Well, then there's 900 stitches. And it might not seem like a big difference, but it can really make the thing come alive. Or I could have 2 great days and do 700 each day, and then I don't know. So I'm feeling like I'm pulling for no reason if I'm only doing 4. So I'm still gonna pull the 10 projects because I have so much things that aren't in the to be pulled that I still will have a big variety, but I will feel like the pressure's not there because I actually have 2 weeks to work on those 10 projects. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get to all 10 each floss tube, but it will be more than 3 or 4. I can guarantee that. My focus will probably be at least getting half of them stitched on what I pull. Maybe all of them. I don't know. But you know what I mean? So that's my way of thinking. And it is a pain in the butt to do the setup. If I had a place where I didn't have to carry so much stuff into the living room, move the table, first got to clean off the table because I swear that dining room table, we don't eat at it except for like, we probably eat at the dining room table maybe 10 times out of the year, if that. We use it for more like crafting, and during the week it's where everything gets dumped. So every Saturday I like to clean it off, you know. I go through what's happened over the week, but I don't know, I need extra days in between my floss tubes. That's basically it. And then, I don't know how the hell I did it, but, well, I know, it's because it was Mother's Day week. But Jen the Caffeinator, Stitcher, yeah, which she shouted me out in her video. I was like, oh, and John's like, she just said your name. I'm like, yeah. I go, you know who Jen is, right? And she's like, the one we watch every week. I'm like, yeah, but she's the one I'm in the games with. And he's like, oh, yeah. So anyways, it's gonna look like I'm copying her because now she's going back to 2 weeks for a while, but I think I'm gonna stay at 2 weeks. I just feel like I need it to be every 2 weeks. It's just too much every week, too much pressure on me. And then I feel like I can't do things, you know? And I like to relax and do my stitching. My games put enough pressure on me. I don't need a floss tube putting pressure on myself too. Yeah, but last night, when John was doing something, I think he was painting some parts of his train. He was outside anyways, getting eaten by mosquitoes. So I went to YouTube and I was like, okay, I'm not watching the trial. And I started scrolling and I saw that I missed Jen's video. So I watched it last night. I was like, right when she said, I'm like, damn it, I had already made up my mind I was going back to 2 weeks. I mean, she's not going to care, but it's just funny. We went to 1 week and every week at the same time, and now we're going to every 2 weeks. It's like, I swear I had it made up in my mind before, which it doesn't matter. Everyone changes their schedule. Oh, and Johnny said that he is going to do it with me too. So I said a lot of people really enjoyed it. So would you want to do it again? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, I'm going to every 2 weeks. So it won't be like every week you have to do it. He's like, that's fine. He's like, I would have done it every week too. I'm like, yeah, but I can't do it every week. Which, I mean, he's a sweetheart. He helps me move the table. He helps me set up and everything. So, oh, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm working on tonight. I do not know. I can tell you one thing. I don't think I'm going to be getting a lot of stitching done this week. So, because, well, this weekend, I want to finish my yard. So, okay. I'm going to end it here because I basically said everything that I had to say. I cannot believe how wonderful Empire State Workers is looking. I'm like, you see the bottom half of the guy, like torso down. It's amazing. And I tell you one thing, that was the best decision I made to grid that fabric, because there's been a couple of times where I got off and, oh, don't cut into my lane. There's no reason you have to turn into my lane to make a right-hand turn. Yeah, so I don't even know what I was saying because that guy distracted me. Oh yeah, I just can't believe the difference. How it just came to life. Oh no, I know what I was saying about the whole gridding. I was able to catch my mistake right away because I used that grid to catch myself. So I only had to frog probably the whole 2 days, maybe 20 stitches, which isn't bad. And it was like 3 or 4 at a time, so. And that's because I wasn't marking off as I was going. I was just willy-nilling it. Okay, I'm off of here. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. I will be doing the vlogs every week, so you still get at least one video from me a week. I wouldn't be mean and do that. Make this every other week. Which it kind of would be cool. On the weeks that I didn't do the Flosstube, you got the vlog, but I'm not doing that. That's way too many clips. Okay, I'm out of here. Have a great week. Bye, guys.